minus minus. Okay, so our number for 1 through 4, the steps are the same. So we look at this and we're gonna factor them and then cross off the same pieces. Okay, so on this top one, we can draw our 2 sets of parentheses and we're gonna factor the number 16. Okay, so that's 1 and 16, 2 and 8, 4 and 4. Okay, I need 2 numbers to give me a 10. Okay, let's put that up. Alright, what are going to be those 2 numbers? 2 and 8. Okay, and I need a positive 10. Plus. Okay, and then on the bottom it's going to be the same. Okay, and the bottom it so happens to be 16 as well. And this time we need a 6. How can I get a 6? 2 and 8, and I need a negative 6.
Plus 2 minus 8.
Plus minus, okay? And so now that we factored those, now it says cross off the same pieces. They do need to be 100% the same. So what can we cross out?
Plus 2.
Yeah, we can cross these ones out. They're 100% exactly the same. So on the top, I'm left with b plus 8. On the bottom, I'm left with b minus 8. Okay, this week, really try to focus on completing that other half of the sheet, as well as asking me for help if you need some help. Okay, because this is going to be your last test. If you are a C or below, it's really going to can make your grade shoot right up. Okay, if you're right at that B marker, again, be careful if you're going to fail this test because it'll shoot you right down. Okay. Number 3, we're going to draw our thing and we're going to factor the top as well as the bottom. Okay, and again, we just did 16. That's 1 and 16, 2 and 8, 4 and 4. I need something to give me a 10. 2 and 8, and I need a negative 10. I need a negative 10. How can I make that happen?
2 negatives.
Yeah, negative. Okay, and on the bottom we got M and M again, and this time it's going to be 18. So 1 and 18, 2 and 9, 3 and 6. Okay, I need something to give me a 7. 2 and 9, and I need a positive 7.
Negative 2.
Minus, plus, good. And then we go through and it says to cross out. Well, what can we cross out? Yeah, we can cross out these. They're 100% exactly the same. Okay, and on the top, we're going to be left with m minus 8. And on the bottom, we're going to be left with m plus 9. Okay, so again, if you need those instructions up above, if you didn't get them all, I'll go back. That's for number 1 through 4. Because some of these are kind of hard to tell when the instructions change. Okay, look at number 5. Okay, number 5 looks different because it has a dot. Okay, so very specifically I wrote dot up there. And this instructions are good from number 5 all the way to number 12. Okay, although you may be able to skip a step on these, on some of them or not, but those are the instructions. Okay, so step 1 is to cross out the same. Okay, then step 2 is going to be to factor, and then step 3 is to cross out the same stuff again. Okay, so you may not have to cross out the 3rd time, or you may not have to factor or whatever, but those are the steps from 5 through 12, and we can tell that it's those kind of steps because it's a dot. Okay, now don't get confused on your test and be like, oh, 5 through 12 all match up to this, because that's not going to, your test isn't going to be this long. Okay, you're looking for the dot that lets us know that that's that kind of problem. Okay, so our first step is to cross out, and what can we cross out? A minus 6. Good. A plus 1. 782. Okay, so we've crossed out. Now it says to factor. Okay, well, I only have 10A left. Can that be factored? No, and so we don't need to cross out again because we're already done. So this one you kind of really only had to do step 1, whereas some you're going to have to go all the way to step 3. Okay, so that's where you're going to see the difference as far as instructions go.
But what if it has like a square?
That means there's 2 of them of the exact same thing.
So you wouldn't be able to cross it out?
I don't know how to wait. Okay, look at 7. Our first step is to cross out. What can we cross out?
And minus 8.
n minus 8,
8 and 2,
8 and 2.
and that's it.
That's it. Can either of those be factored?
Yeah.
Okay, so we know that they can be factored. Look at number 1 real quick. Because that's what my last class was struggling with. Look at number 1. Look at number 1. See how those problems have like it says like m squared plus 2m or something? Okay, that's how you can tell those ones need to be factored. If there's just 2 little pieces, they can't be factored, but if there's 3 pieces like that, they can be factored. Okay, so this cannot be factored, and so we're pretty much done. Okay. Okay, number 9. What can we cross out?
M2.
No. Okay, so M2, this is all like one piece. Okay?
Oh.
The reason you can cross these ones out is because they're like separated by parentheses. Okay? So this is all one piece. This whole thing really is in parentheses. Like this. So we cannot cross anything out. Okay, but we can factor. Which ones need factored?
Both.
But what one specifically?
The top one. Top right.
Top right. This one. What other one?
The bottom one.
The bottom one. Okay, so this looks just like the other ones, and that's why I was saying you can't factor that. You can't factor that. But see how this has 3 pieces? 1, 2, 3. M squared, M, and then a number. Those ones are the ones that need to be factored. So we check the crossing off. There's nothing to cross off. Now it's time to factor. Okay, so on the top, you're going to have 48M. On the bottom of this one, you're going to draw your 2 parentheses, and we do it just like the front page. We're going to say M and M, and we're making a list of what number?
48.
6. And so some factors of 6 are going to be 1 and 6, 2 and 3. I'm trying to get to what?
-1.
-1. So how can I get a 1?
Plus 2 minus 3.
Plus 2 minus 3. Good. Okay, and again, we're going to put this dot here. Which one on this one needs factored? Top or bottom?
Top.
The top. So we're going to say M and M. And then we got 14. So I got 1 and 14, 2 and 7. I need something to give me a 9.
7.
2 and 7. And I need a positive 9. Plus. The bottom one, can that be factored?
No.
No. Okay, it's got to have those 3 pieces like that to be factored. So we got M plus 7. Okay, now our next step is to do what?
Cross out.
Cross out. What can we cross out?
M plus 2
M plus 2,
and M plus 7.
M plus 7. What are we left with on the top?
48.
48M, and then the M minus 3 on bottom. Somebody turn down the music.
Yeah, I like it.
Is you? Okay, number 11. What can we cross out? Nothing. Okay, so then our next step is to factor. Which ones need factored?
The right side.
The whole right side, okay, that top and that bottom, okay? So I got B plus 8 over here, and 80 B3 on this side. Nothing's going to change there. But on this one, we can go ahead and factor, okay? And we're going to factor a list of 12, so 1 and 12, 2, 6, 3, 4. I need something to give me a 4.
Two and 6.
2, 6. And I need a positive 4.
-2 plus 6.
-2 plus 6. And then on the bottom one, where you need to factor also. So we got 16, 1 and 16, 2, 8, 4, 4. I need something to give me a 6. 2 and 8 again. I need a positive 6. Minus plus. Okay. And then our next step is to be like, okay, well, what can we cross out?
B2, B minus 2. Oh no, N minus 2.
Oh, shoot, it should be B's. All these should be B's, but it's fine. N minus 2, N minus 2. I don't know where I got an M from.
I know, I was doing that too, but then I realized.
And then anything else?
No, that's it.
There's more.
Oh, no.
B plus A.
Yeah, it's supposed to say either B plus 8 or M plus 8. Okay, they're both supposed to be B's. Okay, this should be B and B. Okay, so that's my bad. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, so this 8 and 8 can be crossed off. I changed the letters, so that's my bad.
B plus 6, 80, B squared.
Yep, so I got a B plus 6 on top. And on the bottom, I got an 80B3.
What happens if there's like, there's 3, see how this is 3?
That means you need to factor all of this. So you're gonna factor this one, this one. Okay, 13. The instructions are kind of long, and I try to do my best to write them to make somewhat sense. Okay, so this is for 13 and 14. Okay, first of all, you need to have the same denominator. Okay, and the way you can tell it's for these problems is it's a plus and minus. Okay, so we need to have the same denominator. In which case, on all these ones we do. Okay, this says if it's a plus. Okay, if it's a plus, then you add the tops together and combine like terms. Okay, if it's a minus, you need to change the signs of the second fraction and then combine like terms. Okay, so the rules change a little bit. Remember, on the second one, you do, you're kind of distributing that negative. Okay, so the first one's always going to be negative, and then the rest you're going to flip the signs after that. Okay, so I did my best, but sometimes the instructions are just hard to write in general. Okay, to make sense. So, do we have the same denominator? Yeah, what's a denominator?
The bottom.
The bottom part of a fraction, okay? So we have the same denominator, so we can write these as the same denominator on the top, or on the bottom, excuse me. And then on the top it says, is this a plus or a minus, first of all?
Plus.
It's a plus. So it says if it's a plus, then add the tops together and combine like terms. Okay, so we can say x minus 3y plus 6x plus 2y. Okay, because it's a plus, it says we can just add the tops together. And now it says to combine like terms. Well, what can we combine?
X and 6x.
X and 6x, what's that going to give me?
7x.
7x,
Negative 3y and 2y.
negative 3y, and a 2y is going to give me a negative 1y over 20x2. Okay? So those are definitely ifs, because if it's subtraction, you need to flip all the signs on the second one, okay? But then you're going to combine like terms just like you did with addition, okay? Tomorrow we won't be taking notes, so obviously if you didn't do a good job taking notes today, I can go back, they'll still be up here, and add some notes on your paper, okay? Okay, 15 and 17, 15, 16, 17, okay? Here's the instructions for 15 through 18. These are the hardest ones to write because, okay, and before you even start writing them, this is for my last class, so maybe it does not make sense to you. I want to show you what needs to happen, okay? Because we need the same denominator, this one, and this is really, if we're going to name drop, Leon gave me these instructions, so they may not make sense to you, okay? I'm not hating on Leon, but these instructions made sense to Leon, but they may not make sense to Zaid. Okay, so he said, multiply it by the denominator on the second one by the first one. So what he's saying is do this, 2x2, and this one gets multiplied by 2x2, which is right. And then the first by the second, so 4 times 4, okay? So you're kind of taking this one and multiplying it over here, and taking this one and multiplying it over here. Okay, and then the instructions are the same, just like 13 and 14. But we were having a really hard time writing those instructions because it just kind of, there's no good way to write it, okay? So You're multiplying the denominator on the second one by the first one and the first one by the second one. Okay, so our new denominator is going to be 2x2
Well, you put,
times 4. Okay, so both of those pieces, really, you're just combining them. Okay, on the top, then, you need to do this multiplication. So, what is 2 times 6?
12x.
12. And then this guy, he's got 2 x's, and he's got 1.
So 12x squared.
x3. Okay, 2, and then the 1 gives us 3. Okay, on the second guy, we're going to have negative 5 times 4. Negative 20. Okay, and then just like before, we combine like terms on the top. So what can we combine there? Nothing. So this problem is done. That's it. Okay, and I'll go back if you guys missed something. So on 17, what is our first one's going to get multiplied by? By 5, good. So we're going to multiply by 5 and multiply by 5. What about my second ones? B plus 6. B plus 6. Okay, what is going to be our new denominator?
5 parentheses and b plus 6.
Perfect. Okay, and if you want to do like this, look at me. If you want to do it like this or like this, it's totally fine. Okay? Parentheses around both or just parentheses around the b plus 6. You are not allowed to do this. This is a no-go. This is not allowed. Okay, you cannot just do 5 and then b plus 6. Because that means 5v plus 6. But it's really 5 times v plus 6. Okay? So on the top, and some of you guys are going to need to watch me because this one's a little bit more complex, okay? 5 times 2. This is where you answer.
10b.
10, and there's 1b. 5 times 4.
20.
20. And then we got to do the same thing here. 5v times v.
5v2.
5v2. And then 5v times 6.
30.
Try again.
30b.
30v. Okay, and then the same way as the other ones, we look at this and say, well, what can we combine?
10b and, no wait.
10b and 30b, good. And that's going to give me 40b plus 20 plus 5v2 all over. And again, this is not allowed. Okay, you can either do 5 parentheses v 6, which is the most proper way, or you could say like this. This is another option. You could say 5 v plus 6, or you could say 5v plus 30 is an equivalent statement to this. Any of those three work, but not that one. Okay, that one is not allowed. Okay, so you guys have 9 to do work, get them done. If you need some help today, today's a good day.